Nature of evil. This subject brings up a few questions that we need to answer. What is the nature of evil? What is the essence or identity to evil? If God is good and everything that He created is good, what is evil? In his book, Mere Christianity, former atheist C.S. Lewis noted, "My argument against God was that the universe seemed so cruel and unjust. But how had I got this idea of just and unjust? A man does not call a line crooked unless he has some idea of a straight line." C.S. Lewis gives a great introduction to the problem of nature of evil in this world. And the problem of nature of evil is summarized into these three premises. God is the author of everything, and evil is something, therefore God is the author of evil. Rejecting the first premise will lead to dualism, which we know that it is disproved. If God is not the author of everything, then there must be something else that created everything, which is dualism. Rejecting the second premise will lead to illusionism. Denying evil exists shows that reality does not exist. To deny God created all things is to deny His sovereignty. To say evil is nothing denies reality. God caused all things and stated that evil is something means God caused evil. What then is the solution? Theist responds by stating that evil is not a thing or substance. Rather, it is a lack of good thing that God created. Evil is not a substance, but a corruption of the good substance God made. When something bad happens to something good, a part of it becomes evil. For example, rust on a car, scar on your arm. Your arm by itself is good, but then when you get a scar, that's bad. Evil exists only in another, but not in itself, which means a scar can't just be there without an arm or a leg. There has to be something good in order to be something evil. The solution are summarized into these three premises. God created every substance. Evil is not a substance, but a privation in a substance. Therefore, God did not create evil. Since evil is not a thing, then is it not real? No. Evil is a lack of something. That doesn't mean it isn't real. Evil is not a substance, but it is a real privation in good substances. Privation can be in substance, what something is, or in relationships, how it relates to others. There are not only bad substances, but also bad relations between things. Privation in a substance is like a scar on an arm. On the other hand, privation on relationship is the opposite of a good relationship. For example, loving a person is good, while hating someone is evil. There are two types of privation of evil. There are physical privation and moral privation. An example of physical privation is mutilations. An example of moral privation is sexual perversity. Evil cannot exist on its own. If something is overcome by evil or total corruption, it wouldn't exist at all. For example, this goes for moral evil. If evil is standing by itself, that means you will be able to call a wall that is broken down to be evil. But then a wall broken down cannot be broken if there wasn't a wall to begin with. A wall has to be there first, which is good, so that something evil can happen to it, which will lead to the wall to break down. If evil is in a person, it destroys everything of that person, starting from their personality. Then the person wouldn't exist at all. There are four things in terms of their causes. There are efficient cause, free choice; final cause, none; evil is the lack of order; formal cause, none; evil is the privation of form; material cause, a good substance. According to Gangadin, he gives an ironic solution to the problem of evil, which is that evil is the non-belief in God. To say that evil does not exist means that you have no belief in God and didn't use reasoning to allow yourself to see that God exists. C.S. Lewis also goes on with what Gangadin says, that we, humans, do not use reason to understand the reality of God and His creation. He says, God whispers to us in our pleasures, speaks in our conscience, but shouts in our pain. It is His megaphone to rouse a deaf world. So a challenge to evil is, so if evil exists, then why did God allow it? What is the purpose of evil? Why did God create a world that He knew would fall? As a summary, evil is not a substance, which means evil is not a thing. It can't stand by itself. You can't say a wall is evil, and you can't say something is evil unless something good has become bad. Therefore, it can't be part of God. God is good. Also, there are privations of evil, which is the lack of good. And these are the sources.